This is Urdizzle back from an extended break with a little real disc golf to celebrate National Disc Golf Day, August 7th. So I've got a couple rounds for you. This is from the Farmington Park Disc Golf Course in Farmington, Illinois. I was forced to drive a little bit because most of the main courses in the area are being used for the Ledgestone Open. So this one's about 35 minutes away and decent. Easier course, but I enjoy popping out here every now and then. Pretty nice day out, about 80, 87 degrees, a little windy, about 10, 15 mile an hour winds. Kind of hear it blowing through the trees. So not too difficult a course, but the wind will make things a little more challenging. Hole one's pretty straightforward. Can be a little tricky in the wind. You're throwing over a hump, and it does kind of drop downhill just over the crest of that hill. So here you can see I just made it over the top, and then I wanted to just bite. See here it kind of slants down, so it's really easy to go long. Pretty good shot with my reactor. That reactor has been amazing since I picked it up a few weeks ago. So about 15 feet, got the birdie. Good start. Hole 2, also pretty straightforward, and a lot of people would throw backhand on a shot like this. I feel the forehand shape's a little better. And out of the hand, I thought that was a pretty good shot, but the wind, again, was blowing 10, 15 miles per hour, kind of flipped it over a little bit. That was my prime verdict. And left me about 50 short, not where I wanted to be. Again, out of the hand, I thought it was a really good shot. I thought it was going to be up by the basket, but left me with a tricky shot. Got that big tree just to the right, not much behind it. I'm definitely going to run this one. Oh, yeah. That was a great way to start. That's good for the confidence early on, hitting a 50-footer. When you left the drive short, dead center, that was not even anywhere off the pole. So very, very happy with that start. Hole 3, easiest hole in the course. I mean, 160 straight ahead. I would normally throw an NV. The NV goes a little too far. So this is actually one of my putters, my main putters, Prodigy PA3. Glow plastic. Left it, again, little nose up, which is what I was trying to do, but the wind kind of pushed it to the left. Definitely want to be a little closer than this normally, so about 20 feet, but after that last putt on hole 2, I'm feeling pretty confident. Overall today, so I ended up playing 2 rounds. This is Farmington. Putts felt pretty good. There is hole 4's tee, and there's hole 5. And so they're both going that direction. So I'm going to tee off on hole 4 up to there. Tee off on hole 5, finish hole 4, finish hole 5. So I did play these a little out of order. Hole 4, this is a really tough hole. I just don't have the power to get there. The hole's uphill, 350, and you got to throw way up over these trees, so there's no direct line. You essentially got to have 410, 420, maybe a little more power to get it all the way up the hill. So my goal is just to get it around those trees. There is a hyzer route, and you can go low, but I've never got closer than what I just got right here. So my goal is just to get it within, 180 feet, something like that. Little jump putt, easy 3. I don't think I've ever twoed this one. I haven't played this course a ton, but I don't think I've ever even come close to twoing it other than a jump putt, maybe hitting metal. So we'll take the 3, but 3 under on the first 4 is pretty solid start. And my first jump putt was pretty much a tap-in, so I decided for practice to take the longer of the 2. There are a couple holes where I do throw 2 shots, but I always take the first one. Hole 5, I am going to throw a couple drives here. I used my MVP Plasma Catalyst, and the first one here is my white one. It's a little flippier. I was trying to get a read on the wind. And as you see there, that flipped a little more than I wanted. Pretty good drive, but definitely flipped a little more. So my second shot here for practice is my orange Catalyst. It's not quite as beat in, a little heavier. Also got a nice turn out of it, but that held on a little longer, so that was even better. So I will throw from both of those, but the the white one is my first shot that I score. Out of the hand, I really thought that one was going in, but it just missed a little long. And then this one right here is from the orange drive, from about 45, banged it off the top. So I left myself a little tester here. Again, the first jump putt with the white one is the one I'm taking. But again, these felt very comfortable. They almost leaked out a little left. These baskets aren't the best, but they're decent. They're better than old school Mach 3s, but you are going to get some spit outs. All right, hole 6. This one's tricky. It's a tunnel shot. It's 250. It is nasty on the left, nasty on the right. So this is my 400G Prodigy M4. I like it because it turns, but it doesn't dive really, really hard. And so even though this is short and kind of in the woods there, I'm really not upset. And it does drop off about 15 feet behind the basket, so I don't really run this one as hard as I normally would. I kind of give it a little floater, but it just, I was not really running that one hard. See how I kind of floated it up there? Just needed a little more oomph on it. But again, from that location on that hole, I mean, can I deuce it? Yeah. Do I really care? No, I'm okay with a 3 on that one. That one's not upsetting me too much. Hole 7's interesting. It's only 120 feet, but it is overgrown. There's really no easy path. So I'm going to throw a spike. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of an understable, straight to understable putter. Just a little turnover. And I'm really not sure where that one landed until I walk up.
This fairway is narrow. Short hole, but not very open. Oh, we got through. I will take that, take it and run.
So good start. We're 4 under heading into hole 8, and this one is just pretty much a gimme. It's right up there on the hill. Just don't go left. I throw a nice, easy jawbreaker zone. Just get it up there pin high. Throw that maybe 60, 70% power and just ease it up there. Easy 15-footer. No reason to miss that hole. Puts us at 5 under. Hole 9, I really like the hole, but the Park District has kind of let this hole fall by the wayside a little bit. I don't know if you can see the gap right there. It's there, but it is overgrown. So my first shot here is with Verdict. I thought about throwing a second one, but it's nasty in there. I didn't really feel like throwing 2-3 discs and losing a couple of them. So the Verdict I threw there, again, prime Verdict because it flips a little bit. And you can see this is the right side, left side as you walk down. I mean, it's nasty. Even in the fairway, it hasn't been mowed or cut. So there's kind of a path, but not much. So I really, up to this point, I have no idea where my disc is. And then I realize it made it actually pretty far down there. Still looking, and there it is. So I left myself actually a pretty reasonable putt. It's downhill about 22 feet. There were some spikes in there or some thorns in there, so I'm getting poked. I kind of rushed my shot a little bit here because I just want to get out of the thorns. And because of that, I miss an easy one. That was just trash. Should have just taken my time and taken the thorns in the leg for the good of the score. I really should have made that putt, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm really not upset with the 3 on that one because of the way the hole is set up. Hole 10, on the other hand, is one I want to get. So it's just over 300, and I'm going to throw my reactor again. I think it looks like it's downhill, but it does kind of go uphill, so I'm just trying to crest the hill here with the reactor, and I love that because it goes straight with a little turn and then just fades nicely. So it's nice to be able to throw a comfortable mid-range on a 300-foot hole. I think it does play a tiny bit downhill once it gets right here to the basket. But I will take those 10, 15-foot deuce putts all day, every day on that hole. So on hole 10, the wind started to pick up a little bit, and then on hole 11, it really started to flare up a little bit to about 15 miles per hour. So I wasn't super confident in my disc selection here. The wind's right to left, slight headwind. So I went with my Lucid Felon, forehand, slightly lighter weight. And right there, I thought it was a good shot, but the wind kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to the side. I actually thought I was further left. I guess I haven't played this course enough to remember exactly the location, but it ended up being a perfect shot. I actually thought I was circle's edge, so you could see me kind of motioning the disc over to the right because I thought I needed a little more right, and the basket looks a little crooked there. So another 2 added to the score. Hole 12, I really like this one. Downhill, I'm going to throw a prime verdict forehand. And there is a little water behind the basket, but it's a little dry, so there's not too much back there. And that one went a little deep, so walking down, I thought it might have gone in the water. I'm kind of looking for it here. There is some cut brush there, a little thick, and I was able to find it, and I was about a foot and a half off the water, but the footing is a little awkward. So instead of being able to step back, I have to kind of almost straddle putt. You can see I almost fell in the water there. So a little awkward. I need to practice these putts a little bit. I was able to hit that, but that I was not confident in that one. Whereas earlier in the round, I was pretty confident. That one, I was not. Hole 13, pretty easy hole over the water, which doesn't come into play. It's, a little over 200. I'm going to throw my Envy. And again, the wind was blowing a little bit in here. So right there, it kind of flipped my disc over a little more than it normally does. And that was actually a little deep. So it does play slightly uphill, maybe 220, 230. So I just kind of eased that one up there and almost overthrew it. I did decide to throw a second disc here, so I'm going to throw my prime verdict, which is what I would normally throw. And I would just, again, this is a practice round. I'm just kind of trying to read the wind. Although the wind did die down a little bit down in this low area. And even that one I threw a little too far. So I've got to work on my power control. Even easing back, 70, 80%, I was kind of overthrowing those a little bit. So here's my Envy shot. Again, 15 feet. I seem to be right in this range, which is fantastic for me. Don't have to work on those. And then the verdict actually hit a tree behind it and rolled to about 3 feet. I like it. Hole 14 is very similar to hole 9. I like it. It's a different type of shot. But again, the park district is not really taking care of this area of the park. So you've got a route through the middle there, which is what I'm going to throw first, and then a wide right route. So this is my Envy, and I'm trying to hit a gap right there. It's about 5 feet wide, and it's got a bunch of bushes there, and I pured that one. I'm pretty sure that's pretty close to the basket. And then the second route, I'm going to throw my Lucid X Felon on a really, really, really hard hyzer. And I clipped a branch there, which slowed it down, but I still ended up pretty well. So right here is where the Felon landed, about 25 feet, and I'm just kind of tossing this one up here. Missed that. But my first shot was the Envy. And again, that Envy is a tight gap. It's like 5 feet wide, but ended up right basically under the basket for the tap-in. So I'd like to see the park district clean that one up a little bit. Hole 15 is probably the hardest hole in the course. You've got maybe an 8-foot window through the gap here. And then as it gets down to the end, it narrows even more. And I decided to go with the Plasma Insanity. And I play a little pinball action, left side, right side. So I ended up just to the left here. And this is a tricky shot. So I was looking at 2 different shots. One was my reactor wide right, which is not a good gap. And then the shot I ended up going with is a forehand verdict, again, through a gap that's not great. So you kind of lose the disc right through there. And it was such a good shot, I actually thought it was going to go in. And I think it just missed high. But I am 100% happy with the 3 on this hole. And so I throw my second shot, and it got through that narrow gap, but you'll see as I walk up here, it's behind this tree. So I would have had a 35-footer downhill if that was my main shot. So my verdict ended up just missing over the top and left me with this. Hole 16, I'm going to put in the same kind of grouping with hole 9 and hole 14, but this one they've actually cleared out a ton. So the play here, it's not a very long hole, but it's a very, very, very tricky shot to get close to. So what you have to do is you have to play it straight and then have it hyzer hard with the forehand. I don't think there's a backhand route on this one. So here, notice I need to get a little further and skip it. But it does go uphill, so the skips, I sometimes bump up to a driver on this one. And right here, I have those 2 trees in the way. I give up. I just kind of throw it up there. There's really no way to make that. But at this point in time, I don't realize it yet, but I'm 10 under. So all I have to do is par out. And I've got, I think, my personal best here. I think my best was a 9 under. So this is a really, really good round. But I think part of that is I'm just not thinking about things. All right, hole 17, very deuceable, but the wind started to pick up quite a bit here. So I'm going to throw my reactor, and I'm aiming for that right gap. Should be a deuce. And as soon as I let it out of my hand, the wind bumped it up. I think I exposed the bottom of the flight plate, and it just popped it up in the air. So I knew immediately that was going to hit these and probably not fight through. So it left me outside of 50 feet here, straddling to the left, and I decided to go ahead and give it a run. And I almost make it. It was actually almost dead on line, but just like an inch or two higher and I would have made it. So I'll give you a little slow-mo to show you. And we end with hole 18, and the wind is 10-15 miles per hour right now, the same right to left wind that picked up my reactor on the last hole and kind of threw me into the trees. I decided to bump up to an octane and just kind of ease it out there. And of course, what does the wind do? I thought the octane would bite a little more, but the right to left wind just kind of kept it a little too far out to the left. So I ended up just inside circle 1, but I've got those 2 trees that are just dead center, like they're right in the way. I tried to straddle to the left and there was pretty much nothing, so I had to go straddle to the right, so you can see that wind as I throw the leaves up. So that was not a good putt. I was a little tentative with the headwind, thinking that I would blow by it if I threw it too hard and leave myself with an annoying comeback. So still end up with a 3, and overall pretty happy with that. So the round itself, shot a 10 under. Again, I did not know I was shooting 10 under until I put the final scores in. But yeah, overall pretty good. Missed a couple circle 1 putts, but they were obstructed. Drives were good. The reactor worked pretty well.
So overall, not a bad round. I was able to get quite a few deuces. The wind flared up a little early on at the end, but it was not too bad down in the valley here. So you can see it kind of dips down in there. That's where holes like 10, 11, 12, 13, all those were. So it wasn't too bad down in there. That last putt on 18 I really wanted, but I was right behind that tree. Circle 1, but I could not straddle left, I had to straddle right. So overall I think I shot a 10 down. And again, overall with 10 mile an hour winds, and you can actually, I don't know if you can hear it, I'll be quiet. Definitely picking up a little bit, gusts of 15. So pretty good, pretty easy course. A couple of the holes are a little sketchy on the back there. Not a big fan of 14, even though I put it right under the basket. That's the one you got the wide right route and the up the middle route. The up the middle route's like 5-6 feet wide, and it's not clean, so it's not very much fun. But overall, good, decent beginner course. Definitely want to shoot, if you're a good player, you want to shoot double digits, but you can tell the Park District has not really taken care of some of the holes. I don't know if you could tell on hole 17, the tee pad was completely covered. It was either gone or completely covered in dirt. What was that, hole 9 that was shooting into the woods? That looked like they had not cleared that out, and definitely not this year. Same with hole 7, the little shorty. It's just 120 feet, so nice course. Again, this is in Farmington, Illinois. I live in Peoria, so it's about 35 minutes out. not too far a drive. It's Ledgestone weekend, so all the main courses in the Peoria area are shut down. So Northwoods, Westwood, Bradley, McNaughton, all those are being used. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's definitely getting later in the year where I'm starting to throw a little better now that I'm playing a little more. The backhand's feeling more comfortable. And if you've not thrown it yet, I've got a new addition to the bag this last month, that Reactor, MVP Reactor. Holy crap, that is an amazing disc. I love that thing. It is just, it's been doing really good stuff. That's the one that I used to park hole, what was that, hole 10, 300 footer, and it was within 5 feet. So good mid-range. All right, so I will hit you guys up on the next round. I might go play another one, but it's hot. It's over 90 now. I'm sweating. I'm tired. So we'll see how it goes. All right, take it easy, guys.